Well, hello there, it's been a while. I've been inspired recently watching some people doing the cannonball run in America on small capacity motorcycles. So I thought it's about time I gave it a go on the VanVan. Now this is a 125cc. I've got Kriega gear, which is working well. I know it's looking like a bit of a silly snack, but I'll work on that. This is what the machine looks like. Done about 320 miles. 320 miles in 9 hours. Okay. The VanVan has performed faultlessly. You know, it's been marvellous. And I'm here in Suffolk now, in Suffolk land. And yeah, well, I mean, this is just going to be a video about the moto journey plus the camping, and I'm going to be using a Bobcat one. It's fun. 9 hours on the road, 300 odd miles. I've probably only got about 20 miles to go, or less. I'll probably be there in half an hour, but I want to get set up, and I haven't eaten all day. Yeah, well, as predicted, about half an hour later, here I am at the campsite. I just want to talk about the capacities actually before I strip it down. So the Kriega gear is working well for me on the VanVan. That's a 12. That's a Kriega 18. I can't remember whether it's OS or US, but I'll put it up on the screen. Then I've got like a 50 roll bag, but it's not stuffed tight. I had to leave it a little bit slack so I could get some bloody sitting room. Then there's a Kriega 20. Again, I can't remember whether it's OS or US, but I'll put it on the screen. And then there's a 6 litre and a 6 litre, just because I still had stuff to pack and I was running out of space, and I had to add another one on, add another one. I think of a tank bag, I think that goes something like 13 and 19 litres from memory. And you know, I used every scrap of the space. Oh, the trug, 24 litres, a tough box. You'll see how I use that when I'm camping. That's bloody handy as a seat and like a cookery, a kitchen box. Yeah, so it's done bloody brilliant. Cruising at 55. You know, obviously there's some times where it drops below 55 because you're going uphill or into a headwind. But you know, it's pretty much just going the same speed as trucks do, or a little bit less, so you know. 25 past 8 now in the evening. This is it in stage 1 erection, as it were. A bit of fluff on the screen, look at that. Yeah, stage 1 set up. What I mean by that will be revealed tomorrow when I set up the annex, as it were. So Bobcat 1, I'll talk through it a bit more tomorrow or during the week once I get set up. It's just getting late. I need to get me bedding out, get a brew on, have some supper. Haven't eaten all day since breakfast before I set out. Amazing, isn't it? But it's worked for me. It's worked for me. Yeah, OEX Bobcat 1 with with an untidy motor camp. Look at that. Disgraceful state, isn't it? Look at it. Well, here it is, Bobcat 1 in moto camp mode. I came down to Suffolk a couple of years ago on the W800 with the Cairngorm 200. That worked very well, but now I thought I'd give it the Bobcat 1 a go. You know, this is how it works. You can see there's like an inner compartment, that's pretty good. There's loads of reviews on Bobcats, but perhaps not any or many about moto camping. So what I do is I've got a box here. This is my universal top box because it goes on anything. It's got a back rack, and in there goes all the cooking kit. All this will go in there tonight or if I go out, so that's tidied away. And then of course it becomes a blinking table, or you can sit on that to put your boots on, And there's so many uses. You can stand the water on there and draw a mug of water off, you know, to put in the pot. I just think it's cool. It seems to work all right. If I go out, I can put the aqua roll in the porch there, along with the box and the water bottle. Zip it up, all tidied away. And at night, and I'll maybe, if I remember, I'll put a clip of me doing this. That there, you see, is a bike cover. So at night, my motorbike trousers are in the aqua roll now. Now all the tent and camping gear's out of it. So at night I can put the aqua roll on the seat of the bike, along with the crash helmet, and just cover it over with the cover. So it's like a, you know, poor little VanVan becomes a shed at night. Plus there's empty packaging, you know, which can store stuff. So it all works pretty well. But in any case, I wanted to show you this now in sort of like standard trim, which you might use if you were sort of running and gunning, you know, motoring somewhere, putting a tent up and then taking it down the next morning to do another blitz on the highways. But I'm stopping here for a week at a campsite, you know, and that's the setup. Anyone who knows the Bobcat will have seen the very helpful YouTubers who've worked out to get the sag out of the back. You just give it a little bit of lift with a walking stick or a twig from the hedge, but you know, you can bring your own gear, can't you? So yeah, I was just showing you this. It works pretty well. I've got civilian clothes in there because I'm visiting friends and relatives. It just works. You know. My little faux sheepskin that I used on the ride now becomes like a little sit mat. That's good. And another gash tarp, which I initially used to unload all my gear on before putting the tent up, but now becomes like a porch mat where you can, you know, just give you a bit more space for crockery or bits and bobs. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is set up the like the porch or the atrium. Yes, a tarp basically outside, which just gives me a bit more covered area. Poppet and I came camping, e-bike camping as it happens, and we had the Cairngorm 2 and the Bobcat 1, and I rigged up a nice sort of linking awning or linking tarp, and that gave me the idea to do what I'm going to do now. So I'll flick back in a bit with my little porchway set up, which, you know, makes it a deluxe instead of just like a conventional tent to me, you know. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Wind's picking up. I'll have to lash it down good, won't I? Alright then, in a bit. So in this instance, I've got my motorcycle jacket, helmet, gloves and snood, etc. If you've got the tank bag, obviously there's space in there for a few bits which you don't need in a small tent. And if you've got the cover, you've got a cover, then you've essentially got a mini garage. There you go. That's how it's done, with small tent and tight for storage space. There you go, easy really. So as I mentioned, that expedition we had down here in June, where I used a linking tarp, gave me the idea for doing this. So look at that. So that's a DD Tarp S. What was it? 2800 by 14? No, by 1500. I'll get the bag out in a minute and put in a clip. And you know, gives you more options if you're stopping for a few days or a week or so, as I am. Then you've got options to leave stuff outside at night, undercover, you know, and it just makes it feel more of a settlement, I suppose. I'll get those poles in line. Yeah, look at that. You've got to have your poles dead line, haven't you? Got to. Otherwise you can obsess. So that's it. Yeah. Oh, here we are. Does it say there? No, it doesn't. It just says DD Tarp. But it's a Tarp S. I'll get the bag out. I forgot to do that. I have it to hand. So yeah, it just makes a nice little porch. And of course, if there's two of you camping, you can elevate that end and you can bridge the gap, adjust the position a little bit over, so you've got communal space. And I think it's brilliant. You know, I left the Aquatech out last night because it's undercover. It's bloody waterproof anyway. Oh yeah, talking about the box, when you haven't got a tarp up and you leave this out overnight, this might pool with water, of course. So what I do is I just put like a backpack cover over it. I don't need to now, of course, because it's open. And this is a Wham Bam recycled box, 24 litre. I also use a smaller one, like a 16 litre, you know, just for normal sort of running around. And you just strap this onto your back rack on the bike. Easy peasy. Like I said, it becomes a utility device on the site as well, so I like that. Yeah, it's rock straps I use to pinch them down on the back rack. So yeah, what do you reckon, eh? What do you reckon? I'll just dig that bloody DDS bag out so I know what we're talking about. Yes, here it is, DD Tarp S, 2.8 by 1.5. It comes in different colours, of course. There it is. That's the thing that you see here. And you need to put extra guy lines on it. You need to bring extra pegs, and the poles are a different thing altogether, of course. You buy them separate and they just junk together, telescopic wise, to whatever height you want it, you know, to suit your circumstance. So yeah, I think it's just let's just get a view with the hog in the foreground. Look at this, you know. Yeah, brilliant. I'm loving it. Small bike adventure. I'll tell you about the mileage and go through the storage in slow time in a bit as well. But yeah, see, it can give you rain cover, and when it gets blistering hot, it gives you a little shady area. And that, God, you know, there are times when you need that as well. Like today, I'm sweltering out here, but in there it's just a nice little what would you call it? Lean-to. Gazebo? It's not the right word, is it? Porchy thing. Atrium. There we are. That's the proper word. The atrium. All right then. Yeah, so just for my own benefit more than anything, I'll just record the journey stats. I was impressed by our American cousins over in America, of course, doing the Cannonball run, namely Quasi-Motard and Ride with Alex, where they ride all the way across America on small bore machines. And I thought, well, you know, I've got bigger capacity motorbikes, of course. I thought, why don't I give it a go on the little bike, just like they're doing? Wow, it's the best trip ever. Most fun. So what have I done? I've come across country from the northwest, the Lake District, down here to Suffolk. So it's sort of, it's one of the longest ways across the country you can do, if you like, unless you happen to be on Anglesey. Because I'm on the right, you know, the bum of the witch, as it were, the furthest east coast of Suffolk, and I've come from the South Lake District. And the overall journey was what? Let me see now. 323.2 miles. I did it all in one hit. Obviously had to do a couple of wee stops, and it's actually quite a small capacity petrol tank in any case, so I've probably filled up 3 times, and you know, it's 6.5 litres, but you start getting apprehensive when you've used a gallon or 5 litres. So all in all, I've come all the way across country on about 3 gallons of fuel, and what I've worked out, it's doing something like 106 miles per gallon, between 100 and 106, depending whether you're got a full-on headwind and all that kind of thing. Bit of uphill, down dale, but yeah, so you know, all the way diagonally across the country for, what would it be? I don't know, 22 quid or something like that. That's just brilliant, isn't it? So yeah, there's the little bike. Is it? Can I see it? No, I've just tucked it against the hedge, put it in the shade, and yeah, I'll just go through my luggage. So side panniers, okay, I've shown you them on the bike there. I've got a Kriega 12 litre. I've got another side pannier, Kriega 18 litre. So jointly they sum up to 30 litres side panniers. Then I've got a tank bag, which is held, and it's 13 litre, but it expands to 19. Okay, so you've got like 5 or 6 litres of float or headroom. I've got an Oxford Aqua Roll, that's this here, okay, and then I've got a Kriega US 20, which is one you strap on the back seat, or in my case I had it strapped above the Aqua, and on top of that I had 2 little 6 litre Kriegas, which are smaller side panniers, but it's very adaptable kit, and you can sort of, you know, make a pyramid up, as you'll have seen, or I'll show you in the photograph. So that's all been good. You know, I think I can evolve this kit somehow, and you know, just make it less crammed, as it were. I don't mean in terms of the amount of kit I bring, but in terms of having slightly more storage, because I tried to pack everything with the tank bag in its low condition, and then in the end, oh bloody hell, I forgot this, I've got this to take as well, and I had to expand it, so I used about half of the tank bag expansion just to permit me to hit the road with some water in my bottle and that kind of thing, and some snacks and that kind of thing. So yeah, bloody awesome. And I'll tell you what, I'm so glad. You see this tarp here? I'm sitting under this, and it's been like this every bloody day. You know, it's like 29, 30 degrees out there, absolutely Saharan roasting to what I'm used to, and you can see on the ground it's giving me shade. So it actually acts as like a little shade awning, but also a little rain awning, you know, so if it did pitter-patter with rain, and it did one evening, just a tiny little bit, then you can come and sit down, take your boots off in the dry, or you can cook up in the dry, or you can just lounge about in the shade, and you know, it's worked well. Once again, that's the internal arrangements of the Bobcat one. So it's quite capable. There's storage there, got my clothes and a bit of space for, you know, just getting dressed or fiddling about with, you know, charging me phones and whatnot. Yeah, it's been good. I'll just talk through the bike again. Yeah, the shade's coming off it now. But again, you can see these, because that one's the US, these are the OS side bags. And I'll go into more detail in a separate video, but these are attached to like a saddlebag strap thing, you know, which just goes over your seat. The tank bag, like I said, 13, 19 litres, so that's bloody handy, and that fits well. That fits well, and it snugs down nicely on the tank. And you just fold it up, you know, when you want to fill with petrol. Bloody awesome. Love that little VanVan. That's done me proud. Look at that, it's a mighty hog, isn't it? A little 125, 6-speed, 11.4 bloody horsepower. Having a whale of a time. Best journey I've ever had. Time-wise, I forgot to mention the time. Yes, of time. Time it took me, and this is with no sort of no number 2 stops or anything, so I didn't need them, and no meal stops. I just kept going and having a quick snack or a sweet or something when I bought some petrol. So well, that's not the stats, that's from another time. There. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. Here we are. 9 hours 40 minutes. Took me 324 miles. So you know, and whatever I do, in whatever vehicle I go, whether it's on 2 wheels or 4, it always ends up about 30 to 35 miles per hour average. It's bizarre, you know, because obviously you get on the big A roads or the motorways and you do 70, don't you? You know, and then there's a merging motorway and there's like the caterpillar tailback for 10 miles where you're doing bumper to bumper, you know, moving forward, stopping, moving forward. And so even though you can get on a machine that does 70 or more if you're into that kind of thing, by the time you take up all these snigs and snags and bloody roadworks, yeah, because I mean you can get a roadworks section, can't you, where you're limited to 50 or 40, and you could be on a rocket free what was that, 2 litre machine, you're still limited to 40 or 50, and in caterpillar tailbacks, you know, pretty much limited to ground zero speeds. Obviously on a little bike like that you can sort of lane filter a little bit with if the conditions are optimum and the drivers are respectful about you coming up. And I always give them a thumbs up and a wave as I go by if they've just snigged over and been gracious. So yeah, whatever machine you come on, 9-10 hours, 35 mile an hour or less average. It's just, it's bizarre, you know. It's almost like you could, if you had the energy and the stamina, you could almost come down on an e-bike if you can maintain that speed. That wouldn't work like that, would it? Because you still got to stop, but you know. So yeah, so the VanVan, it maxes. I put a rev counter on it a little while ago, so I worked out all the speeds and gears per 1000 RPM, so I know what it will max out at in each gear, theoretically, to red line. Never go there, of course. I know that the red line is 9,500 RPM. I know if I cruise at 55, that's 7,500 RPM, so you've got that 2,000 RPM headroom, so you're not thrashing it and coshing it and getting it over hot, especially on a long distance where you've got small oil capacity. You know, you want to work within its acceptable limits, don't you? You know, so that's that. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll do it again. Well, I will be doing it again, so I've got to ride home. But you know, most fun journey ever. You know, for driver engagement, you've got to use the gears a little bit. Where on a big bike, you're just cruising, aren't you? I enjoy the interactivity of a small bore machine. It's bloody good, yeah. So loving it. So all that was just for my own benefit, or you know, just to record the fact that it works bloody well. The little bike. I didn't go on B roads or anything. I just came down on the A1M, which in some places is a motorway. Sometimes it's just a dual carriageway A road, and sometimes the A road expands up to 3 or 4 lanes when you get merging. So you know, it's a big old highway, no problem. Just, you know, cruising at about lorry speed. That's all you do. You can sneak in behind a lorry, or sometimes a lorry will creep by me ever so gently. I know what to cost a bike, so I'm just stick at 55. No worries, all good. And then on the A14, what's the problem? So I've done a video, haven't I, on the motorway up in the Lake District, you know, where I did like nearly 70 miles on the motorway when I first tested it to see what it was like, and that's on my channel if you want to look at that. It was enlightening. And of course all this is inspired, I suppose, by watching small bore motorcycle people doing big stuff on little bikes, and I thought, yeah, I'm up for that. Especially as I get older, you know, I might need a bloody step through. Come down on a Honda 90 in 10 years time. That'll be good. yeah, so I've loved the little tent setup. The awning, that's worth bringing. It's a little bit of extra luggage, but it just makes for difference for your comfortableness. You know, if I didn't have that, I'd be basking in the bloody tent here, like I don't know, some kind of like a hot sausage in a pita wrap. I'd just be there, full on heat, and it'd be no good. But with the awning here, yeah, just get a bit of draft, a bit of shade. It's just lovely. So I'm sorry if that's been a bit boring and over nerdy, but that's just me, isn't it? Thanks ever so much. I'll maybe do a closing clip when I've loaded up on my return journey, or maybe not, but anyway, thanks for sticking with this video. I'm excited, I'm genuinely excited about the small bore potential. I can't wait till the Kawasaki W230 comes to UK, if it does, because that'll just have a little more legs. Nice little single capacity machine, lightweight, but just for tickets. But I love the VanVans as well, they're ace. Alright then, I'll speak to Suffolk here because I'm in that county, so thank you boy, thank you girl for watching, whoever's watching. Good on you. Yeah, hope I get this uploaded soon, along with bloody loads of footage in the can that I haven't sorted yet from all sorts of bloody adventures. I must get my finger out of my bum, get my arse in gear. Maybe autumn, winter time when I've got the time to sit there and do the editing. Oh, I'm gibbering on, aren't I? I'm just enjoying it. Just enjoying it too much. Alright, I'll say bye-bye for now. Let's see what happens next on this adventure. If not, thanks for watching.